Williams.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Hey, I've not seen you for so long.
Absolutely ages. It's
So
just been
long.
way too long.
It's been about 11 hours since I last saw Maisie Williams.
So you didn't dye your eyebrows blonde, like you said you were going to?
No, you suggested
I'm
this.
pretty sure you said.
No, you suggested this.
I did. Why don't you do a Miley?
I don't know if this is right. Basically, I've got blonde hair now, bleached it. And,
It looks great, anyone who can't see it.
Thanks, Maisie.
That's right.
And last night we were both on Chatty Man.
Yeah.
And Maisie's like, well, why don't you do your eyebrows like Miley? Imagine if I had bleached eyebrows as well.
Well, you might, like...
I think it would be...
It'll
I think
grow out in...
I think Radio 1 bosses would be like, let's get him off air for a bit. He's lost it. He's not all right.
But it's radio, they just hear your voice.
That is true, Maisie. Bring on the bleach.
Bring on the bleach.
Let's make this happen. And how was last night? Because it's quite fun, that show, isn't it? Well, it's really, really fun.
But they shot it all out of order, and so it was very confusing. Because when I finished my interview, he was like, oh, and you're going to stick around for a little bit. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then I was like, oh, wait, because he means for the last segment, which we shot earlier.
Right.
And then I must have looked really rude, just sat there like, oh, I don't know, maybe.
I like that you can shoot Game of Thrones, but be confused by Chatty Man. You're like, Chatty Man's really confusing.
10-hour-long episodes all out of order, but like Chatty Man, which is like 20 minutes, just
blow
too
my
much.
mind.
Too much
Absolutely
for me.
blow my mind. But that's on tonight, so watch that tonight, because it was a lot of fun, that. And so we need to talk about Game of Thrones and not Alan Carr. He can do his own press in his own time. Season 6 has just started. Was it 2 weeks ago as it started?
Yes, we just had our episode 2 on Monday night.
Right.
And it was the big one. The big reveal.
The big reveal. And you've been sort of going to people's houses and like their viewing parties.
Yeah, well, I was in LA and I knew I was going to be really jet lagged when the first episode came out, and I'd already watched it at the premiere, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if we went and crashed like a viewing party, because it's a big thing over there.
Massive.
They're totally into that. And so we found someone, and I went there and took them loads of popcorn, like, hello.
Hiya, it's me.
Yeah, and they were so thrilled, and like kind of all stood there really quietly, like, and then I was like, I didn't really predict how awkward it was going to be, and I was like, oh no, wait, I'm the one that's going to need to make the conversation, because I just walked into their house. And I'm not usually the one that leads the conversation, and so I was like, oh no, I didn't plan this. Oh no, this is so awkward. But no, they were very, very happy.
Well, thank God you had a distraction in the form of brand new series of Game of Thrones.
Right, exactly, and all the goodies. I was like, oh, I awkwardly just stood there with my paper bag, like, oh, and I got you some popcorn, and I got you know that bit on Toy Story where she's like, and I pecked your angry eyes, just in case. Felt just like that, giving them all the sweets and chocolate.
Like you having your Mrs. Potato Head moment.
I was indeed.
Hey, I was in LA last week, and there are giant posters everywhere of Game of Thrones, isn't there? Like giant billboards.
Yeah.
How is that when you see those?
It gets very real when I go to LA or to America. It gets very like, you realise quite how much your life has changed.
Yeah.
And just how much of a big deal it is, like all around the world, but just particularly there, because I guess they just sort of shout about it a bit more. But yeah, it's always exciting.
And crazy, like, everywhere, and so huge, and people still want to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
And people, I mean, the celebrity fan list is insane.
Yeah, indeed. And I talking about like all around the world, like you kind of get used to it in your own little bubble, or in London or in LA. And I recently went to Japan and was like, oh, and here too, like I'm so far from home, and to still have the same reaction, it's just like, it is kind of mind-blowing, and does mean that every now and then you need to just go home and like be normal and like not live this life forever.
Where you're like, I'm famous everywhere.
This is my life now. Yeah, it's nice to go back and actually like, no, I'm still just Maisie, and like my life is still.
Do your friends and family like keep it real with you? Are they,
totally.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like really shocked when I say that my friends and my family don't really watch the show.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, the way it is, and it's quite nice. And when I come home, I don't really like talking about what I've been up to, because you spend your whole life talking about yourself and like what your next project is or what your last project was. And although that's, you know, incredible and it's very important, it's nice to just like go home and be like, what have you been up to? What have you been doing with your week?
Not to be interviewed.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. Yeah.
I get that. Just to be ignored and people have no idea what your television program is.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, not watched it, and we don't care.
Game of what?
Clean your room. Yeah, I like
Indeed.
that. I like that. Well, loads of people, thankfully, on the text are interested, not your friends and family, but massive fans of Game of Thrones have been on, so we have loads of questions coming
Wonderful.
through. If you want to say hello to Maisie, 811-99. They went really serious then, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Music, it's Coldplay's fault. This is Up and Up on Radio 1. Radio 1, right, the cameras are on, by the way. If you want to come and watch us, you can. I'm here, and Maisie Williams is here.
Is that the camera, or is that just
one?
the light?
Yeah, that one, yeah, with that light. Serious.
That's what all the Kardashians have around their phone. They've got one of
I know.
lights.
And we look amazing. We look just like them. We look beautiful.
Is that all it takes? Wonderful.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. A ring light. That's it. And we look exactly like them. Although now I've looked at it too long, I actually can't see your face. But come and see us if you want to. Online, bbc.co.uk/Radio 1. And loads of people want to say hello to you. Which we're going to get to in a second.
Okay.
But we've got to talk about the fact that, you know, we have this whole thing with Game of Thrones. It's like, don't talk about it. People don't want to talk about it, but really want to talk about it because of spoilers and people are at different places and stuff. And there must be always questions when you're out and about that you get. Yeah,
definitely. I had the big one, like, is Jon Snow dead or alive? But I always just played it like, do you know what? I'm going to just say no, because if you play it all, well, we'll have to wait and see. People know that he is alive, and we just can't tell them. And so I was like, right, I'm going to take it upon myself to just say no to everyone that asks. And so lovely fans would come up and be like, I know you can't say, but what, is Jon Snow alive? And I'd just stand there and be like, no, he's actually dead. And they'd be like, yeah, like really heartbroken. And then I felt really, I don't know if I felt mean, I quite enjoyed it really. It was quite funny. It was like, but that's good, now you'll be surprised when the episode comes out.
Yeah, no, just watch it and see.
Yeah,
because I heard even Barack Obama, like, which is mind-blowing.
Right.
Because, like, of course he watches telly, but amazing that he watches your show.
Yeah.
But he asked your director, like, at some party or something, like, what's going on with Jon Snow?
Yeah. Even he asked, and he also, like, requested all the episodes before everyone else, because that's one of those privileges you need as the president of the United States. Yeah, and so he got the episodes sooner than everyone else, which I was a bit like, can I ask for that? Or is that, like, am I being part of the show not special enough to...
I mean, I think that I feel like if you're in the show or you run a country, why can't you watch Game of Thrones?
If you fit into one of those two categories,
if you run a country,
you can watch the episodes before.
Yeah, you can watch it. Yeah, I like that. But then we were looking earlier on at like this thing online, and it was like every celebrity that's a fan of Game of Thrones, and the list is like.
Have you got it?
Ridiculous. Yeah, do you want to hear this?
Yeah.
Okay, so people that are fans of Game of Thrones include...
And these are just the people that have openly mentioned it.
These are just the people that have mentioned it. I mean, there could be some closeted fans out there.
Yeah.
This is just, a few people. But people that love Game of Thrones and are famous include... Kelly Clarkson, Ed Sheeran, Madonna, Elijah Wood, Seth Rogen, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Jay-Z and Beyoncé, Jennifer Lawrence and Barack Obama.
Incredible.
Quite good.
That's a pretty decent...
Isn't it funny?
That's kind of like, when people ask you, like, what people would you like to have, like, if you can have, like, 10 famous people at a dinner party, that's kind of the list, really.
I mean, that is quite a good list.
They're
all very cool as well.
Stellar
like
list.
Snoop, Beyonce, Madonna, Jay-Z, Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, they're cool people.
They've got great taste. They've got great taste. Do you like that idea, though, that, like, Beyonce and Jay-Z all, like... make the tea.
They put Blue to bed.
And they watch you on the telly in their house.
It does blow my mind.
Crazy.
It's so mad. Or even on a tour bus. She's like finished being like Queen Bee, and then she's like, just sit with my slippers on, watching Game of Thrones.
I like that we pretend when Beyonce watches TV, she's from Leeds.
All of a sudden, just like, love that show.
Get a brew on with you, Jay-Z. Come on. Game of Thrones on. She's not from Leeds. Right, people want to say hello. Hi, guys. Maisie, I really admire the friendship between you and Sophie Turner.
Thank you.
Saying admire like she's a nightmare or something good in charity work.
Thanks for putting up for her on behalf of everyone.
But she's a really good friend of yours, isn't she, on the show?
She is, indeed, yes. We're going to watch Kits play together at some point this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's really exciting. And I was texting her about it last night. But yeah, I see her all the time. I love her to pieces.
Because when we've had you on in the past and we've had her on as well, like you two, initially when you started, I mean, you're still, how are you, 19 now?
19, yeah.
How old were you when you started, 15 or something?
No, we were like 12 and 13 when we first met each other. Yeah. And like it literally could have gone any way. Like I couldn't imagine this show without getting on as well with Sophie as I do. Like, can you imagine if there was a girl and we just sort of like, nice to see you, and then just sort of go your separate ways at the end of the shoot. We just are the bestest of friends, and like that's so rare to be able to find that and to stay friends for as long as we have as well.
And especially going through what you've gone through with this show, like how big it's got. It's great to have someone to be like, hey, this is weird.
Yeah, and you get so many people that always try and compare us and put us against each other, because that's just such a thing that happens in this industry, putting women against and men against each other, and people constantly trying to like compare us, and we're just two very, very different people, and we're just both very comfortable with our own careers and like our own lives, and it's so nice to have someone that is just like totally against all of that, and it's just like, you want to hang? Yeah, I
like that. I really like your dynamic. I really do. Congratulations on that. I really like that friendship.
Really admire it,
I really do admire that friendship. It's a great friendship. Bella's been on.
Hi, Bella.
Hi,
Hadid.
Bella. Bella Hadid's been on.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Bella. No, Bella from Bath. Hi, Bella.
Oh, Bath.
She says, Maisie, I love you, Maisie. If you could swap characters in Game of Thrones, who would you be?
I would want to play Ygritte because she was the killer character, but then she died. And so hopefully if I played Ygritte, she would have survived longer.
Crew couldn't stand her to go.
No, but I loved her. I absolutely loved that character so much. I cried a little tear.
Do you actually get emotional when people die? Because I mean, they like to die on the show.
I get so engrossed in it, and it's not even sad because it's like, oh, I'm not going to, work with them anymore or see them anymore. It's not actually that side of it. It's genuinely like the story and the characters that I'm just like, whoa.
Wow. Because I guess when you're filming, you don't. Obviously, you know what your character's up to, but I guess you don't know what everyone else is up to.
Yeah, and like, although you read the scripts, like you're not like, I don't feel as emotionally invested in it because you're concentrating so much on your own bits until I sit down and watch it, and then I'm like, oh wow, you have a real ride this year. Like that must have been really tough for you to shoot. Are you okay? But yeah, it's not until I come back and watch it that I really, sort of get engrossed.
Yeah. Patrick in Essex has been on. Hi, Patrick. Question for Maisie. Just wondering, how hard is it not to be able to tell people if Jon Snow was alive or dead? Thinks you are one of the best characters on the show.
Thank you.
What about, like, who are you willing to give a spoiler to? Because we've said, like, not fans in the street. What about if it's, like, Barack Obama or your mum?
Yeah, but I work, like, the opposite way in that, like, if I wanted to spoil it, I wouldn't do it for someone who wanted to know. I'd do it for someone who was being really annoying.
If they didn't want to literally spoil it.
But sometimes people think they want to know, and then they actually don't really want to know if you were to spoil it. So I would always use it in the other way. I guess I've just got a bit of an evil streak in me, it seems. I've said quite a lot of evil things today.
You really have.
But
this fame and success has really changed me.
It's really changed me, honestly.
You're an absolute nightmare.
Sorry about it.
Sorry, guys. She's changed. She's not who she used to be.